Bracketology presented by Dave Campbell's Texas Football, breaking down the 2022 Texas High School Football Playoff brackets. That's Ishmael Johnson. I'm Greg Tepper. This bad boy is 4A Division I, and 4A Division I is going to be fun. 4A Division I, I think, let me see if I can say this on the fly.
Okay.
I think there are state championship contenders in each region. You can't say that about every bracket.
Sure.
But I think you can say this about this one. I think I can point to one team in each, at least one team in each region that could hoist a trophy. Yeah, I can say that.
Okay.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with that, I guess. I'm interested to hear how you talk about Region 1.
Let's start there. We'll go to Region 1. Region 1 is probably the one
one
where I don't think there's maybe that heavy favorite to come out of it.
Sure.
And I think the team that everybody's going to pay attention to is probably Brownwood. Mm-hmm. Brownwood has looked very good. Coach Sammy Burnett has been telling us for years this was the year he really felt like they were going to get hot. They have played. I think that their defense has taken a really nice step forward. And I think that they're probably the favorite here, although Decatur is a team that has gotten hot at the right time. Both Canyon schools are playing well. And there's El Paso Riverside, if you want to dream, Speedy Munoz.
I was about to say, El Paso Riverside, it took, when I was sending in my projections to you, I was really hovering over. Because, I mean, outside of Brownwood, right, you know, Decatur, yes, but at this point you're at least getting to a regional final, right? And again, I've talked about one-offs and just how that could anything could happen in a one-off game. But I think I still like Brownwood, right? I think the legacy is there, right? Imagine the following they're going to have if they make a good run, right? Especially to a regional final, potentially a state semifinal, right? I think Sammy Burnett obviously is a Brownwood guy, and he knows the kind of the pressure that's on him, obviously, to bring it back because, man, this is a program that's hungry to get back to some glory days.
Estacado and Randall could be a really interesting second-round matchup, and then I would also keep an eye on Wichita Falls because they got dubbed the Coyote. Let's go to Region 2. Region 2 is where things start getting pretty serious here. Specifically, very, very top there, China Spring, the number one team in 4A Division I right here. They've passed every test that they've faced in 4A in moving up to 4A Division I, and they look the part. And I'll tell you though, Kaufman dropping to that second seed in District 8. That suddenly makes that second round matchup really interesting with Kaufman. Because Kaufman is a team that when they play with their paper is very dangerous.
Sure. I was about to say, China Spring probably got the quote-unquote weaker side of the bracket, but you mentioned Kaufman, Sulphur Springs as well. That's not going to be a cakewalk necessarily. Obviously, they are the favorite. They look the part. Like you mentioned, they just completely look like a machine. But there's some interesting names here.
Down here, the bottom half of the region, this is the meat grinder. Down here, Salina, Kennedale, and La Vega are going to just take ice cream scoops out of one another in that first round of the game. And then a potential second round match between Anna and Stephenville.
That's fun.
Pointsy.
Yeah.
So a lot to like about that bottom half.
I was about to say, I don't know who I would pencil in right now coming out of this region because Waco La Vega, of course, they've been up and down this year, right? It hasn't been their best year, but they're still there, right?
And
they're
this
still
is
Waco
the
La Vega.
time of year, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Peak now.
Like you mentioned, if they get past Kennedale, okay, then Salina is going to have to. They're at least going to come out with a bloody nose or something to be playing against La Vega. And so I love this second round matchup. Anna, of course, Bullock, their quarterback as well, has been really good this year. Very fascinating. This is going to be a very interesting kind of battle royale to see who plays somebody coming.
And by the way, like the defending state champs are down here, right? Stephenville.
We just kind of brushed them over.
Right. And I know that they had those two losses to China Spring and then to Alvarado, which is a real mystery. And I have concerns about their defense, but there's no denying that Ryder Lambert, Tate Maruska, that offense can hum, and they can absolutely win Region 2. And who knows, maybe we see a rematch between China Spring and Stephenville in a regional final. Let's go to Region 3. Over here in Region 3, there's a few different teams. I would say that right now, this is the dirty half of the region, but we'll start down here because I think there's a few different teams down here that are very interesting. El Campo with Ruben Owens, they got the best player in the bracket, right?
Yeah, probably in the state, if we're being honest. I mean, they start, again, speaking of teams that started off slow, right, El Campo, but like you mentioned, if he's just the best player on the field for every single night, it's not that hard to do, right? And so especially when you're Ruben Owens, you're playing in 4A, you're playing in Class 4A, where you're probably not playing against guys that are going to be your size or your physicality. You can make your way and kind of bully your way to a regional final. I think the team with the highest ceiling, though, is right there, right? Teams that started slow, maybe a year away from being their best, right? Still a very intriguing team under Jeff Reardon there.
Man, I'll tell you that you talk about teams that started slow. That's kind of a theme here. Chapel Hill 0-2 to start the year. Kilgore 0-2 to start the year.
Yeah.
El Campo started the year slow, right? You've got these teams that started the year. The team I want to flag you guys on. This Lumberton team is serious business, okay? Do not sleep on this Lumberton team. James Reyes has done a fantastic job with them. I think they got a great shot to make a deep run and surprise some people. So keep it on. This will just be a lot of fun, and I think that you've got some really interesting second-round matchups. Bay City's a dangerous team.
Little Cypress Mauriceville.
Man, I'm telling you, they made that run last year. They've got that pedigree, and they're not going to be scared of anybody. So that's going to be fun. Region 3 is going to be a lot of fun. Down to Region 4. Each bracket has their own personality. Each region has their own personality. This does feel like the defensive bracket. The exception may be with the two teams that are your favorites here, which are, in some order, Cal Allen and Bernie.
I was about to say, Cal Allen's been interesting this year. I kind of have a theory. They switched up the offense a bit, right? They're obviously a little bit more spread this year than they've been in the past under Coach Phil Danaher. I wonder if the playoffs is when we start to see that little, I want to say exposed, right? But the thing that made them really interesting was that offense and being able to grind teams down. Are they just another spread team now that a lot of these teams, in particular Bernie, if they make it to a regional final, have seen before? That's kind of my worry with them. I still think they should be the favorite, like you mentioned with Bernie, but that offensive switch, right, they're doing it well. I'm not trying to say they're not doing it well. They put up a lot of good numbers. But I just wonder, that offense in the past has been that great equalizer against other teams that when they get outside of their own region.
It's a great point. I think that Cal Allen is still, Davenport's a very interesting first-year program. They've got Shaston Golden, who is an individual playmaker you need to know about. And then Bernie, I think up here at the top, they've got to be your favorite up here. I would keep an eye on a team like Canyon Lake with the champions of District 13. Alice is a dangerous team out of District 16 as well. But overall, I think that you're looking at probably Bernie and Cal Allen as the two best teams in this region.
Sure.
How well do they match up stylistically? So overall in 4A Division 1, this is, again, bit of a mystery box over here, right? Don't really know. China's, just heavy hitters everywhere you look in Region 2. This is the most difficult region. This is maybe the most intriguing region.
I was about to say high ceiling, I'd say.
Oh, yeah.
Region 3.
Like, it would not be a surprise if the state champion came out of here.
Sure.
It also wouldn't be a surprise if they got mollywopped in the state semifinal by whoever comes out of here, whether it's Bernie, Cal Allen, or a mystery guest. So 4A Division 1 is going to be a lot of fun. It always is. We'll have you covered every step of the way at TexasFootball.com.